Good morning, good noon, good evening, wherever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark, Ali, myself, Isaiah, and together, that's Hip Hop. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really means a lot. Today is a very good episode, very special episode. Still snuck it in there. Today we're covering the true renegades of hip hop. Blasted into the underground scene in 1994 with a rebellious, no-holds-barred energy that resonated deeply with hip-hop purists. This group consisted of Ill Bill, Sabac Red, Goretex, and DJ Eclipse. It was like the backpackers' holy grail of just those who were just really into sharp verses, intense delivery, and a production fueled by heavyweights. There's just so many tracks on this album that we're discussing today. The Future Is Now. It was released March 26, 2002 via Uncle Howie, Landspeed Records. Production was handled by Necro, Large Professor, Dave One, DJ Premier, Juju, Pete Rock, and T-Ray. Like
heavy hitters.
Big time heavy hitters. That combination of Large Professor, DJ Premier, and P-Rock hasn't been done since Illmatic.
Right.
That's crazy. It features guest appearances from Christian Wobblers, Marley Middle, MF Doom, Moonshine, Necro, his brother, Raymond Herrera, Stefan Carpenter, and the B-Nuts. The album reached 65 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart, and number 14 on both the independent albums and Heat Seekers albums charts in the U.S. It includes singles like, the legendary Black Helicopters. It's just legendary in general. And the length is 56 minutes and 2 seconds. Today was my choice on the album. I chose this album because this was just, like I mentioned, the holy grail for the backpackers, those who were lyricists, who liked the rebellious sound, the type that challenged government on the heels of skepticism. And we're talking about right after 9/11, right after, the hype of conspiracy theories. Like, we famously have this one.
What's with the wire? What's with the wire?
From a video, conspiracy video that was made about 9/11.
Yeah.
Find out in 30 years.
What's with the wire?
So what was your guys' experience first, listening to Non Phixion? Was this your first time listening to it, or have you guys ran into them before?
This is going to be a repeat on my end with Non Phixion. A couple of the tracks, not the album as a whole. The group is always and has always been mentioned in various rap circles, especially around the 2000s. They are always piled in with your, they're always piled in with your Jedi Mind Tricks, your Cage, Yak Balls, the Mortal Technique. So Non Phixion is a group that, if you've listened to Necro, this is going to be like one of the spin-off groups that you'd also have to listen to by default.
Or association, right?
Exactly. And it's a sound that you're used to, especially if you like listen to Necro or the artists that I've mentioned as well. So it's just a refreshing take and a nice, I want to see what 30-year-old Mark thinks about this, because teenage Mark was super excited about hip hop like this, but now I want to see what the mature Mark thinks about this as we dissect the lyrics.
I think because being in our adolescence, it was more of like, like F the system, or like, kind of like we want to be a revolt. We wanted to be.
Now I have to pay bills to the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What did you think about it, Ali?
This is my first listen. Honestly, I enjoyed it. Production wise, it was, that classic, kind of underground boom bap type sound. Yeah. Again, finding out, Large Professor, Pete Rock, Premier. Again, that's crazy. That trio, as you said, we hadn't heard since Illmatic.
I wouldn't have expected that on this.
Like, for them to come out with them, I mean, that's heavy respect. You know what I mean? Like, for you to have those three on one album, that's you're doing.
And plus
something.
Necro, like, honorable mention.
The
right
production, the production alone grants validity to
Correct.
this album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what kind of stood out for me, even just first listening. I'll get into the kind of the styles of the MCs in a little while, but just on first listen, it was definitely enjoyable. It was just that throwback to that, for me, like that era where I was really just kind of in my kind of anti-mainstream era, where like this would have fit right into that. You know what I mean? Had I, been up on them, but definitely, enjoyed the listen, and I said really appreciated that the classic sound they brought on these tracks.
Yeah. What was your music like? Listing or index at that time?
Yeah, at that time it was pretty
2002.
much when I was during that time it was like heavy, like Papoose was one of my favorites. I was listening to him like crazy. I would say Papoose a lot for sure. Slum Village, Elzai.
Yeah. So lyricists too.
Trying to find some others. Like even I was really just digging back and like lots of King T.
Yeah. King T was.
He was like a very, very heavy favorite of mine at that time. Yeah. So pretty much during that time, it was like either had to be something kind of underground or something like throwback.
I asked this question to Mark when we were doing the last episode in Ali's absence. We were talking about, because we were seeing all these artists get together on Arsenio Hall's. Like,
that last episode.
Away, right? Mm-hmm. But I was asking Mark, like, is there even an underground hip hop anymore? Like, as there was before, obviously.
Yes, there was a true underground.
But like, I don't know, like it doesn't really feel like there is an underground right now.
Yeah, I feel like the internet has kind of made it to where it blurs the lines. Like there's a legitimate, clear mainstream, but the underground is kind of murky, so to speak.
Right.
And I think because the way music is consumed, it's a lot harder to really delve into like who those artists are. Like back when we were coming up, even like during the early times of the blog era, like it was a lot of, you had that community on the blogs where you were talking about these new artists you're hearing about and putting people on and through word of mouth. Yep. I don't know if guys are doing that right now. You know what I mean? Putting people on the lesser heard artists. And right now there's kind of like a middle ground, so to speak. It's like either you're super, super popping or you're underground, but you can still kind of make, a great living, honestly, touring and stuff.
Because now it's like the thing is to be indie. Like
that's the cool thing.
It wasn't the thing.
Right. Yeah. It was, you were trying to get a deal. Now it's like, no, you're cooler. Like there's rappers lying about being indie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're saying they're indie, but they're actually signed. That's been a thing over the last probably 6-7 years. Rappers saying they're indie, so it sounds cooler.
Now we have to worry about overground hip hop instead of underground.
Right. Like seriously, like that's been the thing over the last 6-7 years. Like, I'm independent. Like, no, you're not. But
I think the perfect illustration to this, because I believe that all artists are pretty much surface level now. I think that was the analogy that I used, but it's now peaks and valleys. It's like a hill and a valley, where the mainstream artists, in terms of the peak being the elevation of the peak being the impressions, there's still people that couldn't get up to that level easier than the underground illustration, where it's like, damn, are they ever going to get out?
Right.
Because they're just one social media post away from to being viral.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah,
So
true.
So now to me, I just think of everyone at surface level and having that ability to be mainstream within one song. Like the perfect example, and I've never heard of Ice Spice before 2019, 2020.
Yeah, seriously.
And she comes out of the woodwork.
And
one
she's
song,
already,
and she's everywhere.
And it's like, and now she's mainstream and she's established.
Yeah.
right.
So that can happen to anybody. And hopefully, it happens to someone with a great skill set.
You're gonna say that's hip hop, the podcast, but somebody else.
Right.
Hopefully it happens for them.
But like another, because example, like I would consider, on a technical standpoint, I would consider Griselda underground.
Yeah.
But Westside Gunn's done songs with Travis Scott.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
not
it's
really
like,
underground,
yeah,
right?
it's like one of those.
you know what I mean? It's like, how do you really quantify
It's
it?
like, and also too, a lot of the people who were mainstream back then at this time, now they're accepted by the underground. Like Mos Def, he even says, 50 Cent's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I don't think that would have been the talk from
Right.
underground artists to say 50 Cent's tight. You know, but now it's been more accepted into, as one now.
Definitely.
So that's also been a turning point.
Definitely.
But it's funny with Non Phixion because with Non Phixion, they were trying to get a record deal, but they didn't know how to market them. They didn't know how to really position this group because they were talking about things so raw, killing President Reagan and like, just things that are like just the CIA.
Very outlandish.
Just Jesus being a gangster.
Right.
Molten Platinum artist.
Wild rhymes.
Yeah, very
Waxing
wild.
cops.
Super shock value rhymes.
Yeah. And so like they didn't know how to position. So they had to go the indie route, but that's something that nowadays all the artists are doing.
Yeah, and you figured
we're ahead in that way.
You figure having someone like Search being a part of their circle would have elevated them like crazy because, as we all know, MC Search is the one that was able to put Nas on. Right. There's no Illmatic without MC Search.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I would have thought reading, and actually researching on Non Phixion that would have been the right. He has the network to make that happen.
Right.
Especially around that time, but it didn't end up happening.
Bill said that like him and Search got together and they were just trying to think what they were going to do. There were so many ideas on the table. They were like, well, let's do another type of third bass, or maybe let's not. Let's try to do a group. And so they ultimately ended up going the group route. But then I don't know the reasons why Search left the group, but they still ended up doing, their thing. But I think this album, though, is like several years in the making here. I want to say almost 7 probably years in the making of this album, and they just kept dropping singles just to stay relevant. Yeah,
the timeline's nuts to when the group gets founded to when they actually produce and press this album.
Yeah, and peace to Ill Bill, peace to Necro. Like, they're legendary in the sense where they start these groups that are like dope, but then they like quickly kind of dissolve. Yeah. And they'll start another group. And it's dope. And then they're like, oh, well, it didn't work out, so we'll try another group. And that was dope. I think he partnered up with Sick Jackin', if I'm not mistaken, on one of the groups, if I'm not mistaken, there.
Yeah, and then they end up starting the Circle of Tyrants as well.
Circle of Tyrants, yeah.
Dope group name, by the way.
Yeah, and some others. But Non Phixion, I chose that one because that one I felt like, they had something here. They had something here where the artists they complemented each other. It was different, but they complemented each other. They still had this raw sound, but they were doing it different. And it was almost, it was artistic in a way, their grittiness, because they were like painting pictures, and like Ali was saying, it was very wild, pictures and images, but at the same time, it's like, it's imaginary.
Yeah, it's an aggressive message that they wanted you to hear.
Yeah. And I felt like they also didn't compromise on the lyricism. Like that was still there. The production and obviously the ear to the beats. I mean, there were dope beats on this thing.
Yeah.
Really hot beats.
I mean, like I said, I think rock stars, I've heard at least 2 or 3 rappers spit over that on the radio.
Yeah. Like legendary beats. Like that's even crazy too. It's like the instrumentals alone is legendary. Like just that you can release that and
beats by association.
Yeah. I remember Necro releasing instrumental like volumes, and that alone was legendary.
Oh, those are so sought after, man.
That was dope. And it did so much for the culture too, because like this was around mixtape time. So these were beats that could be downloaded and you can make your own mix. Like, that was huge, big, not only for artists who were doing it, but just for people who just wanted to express and make music. Yeah.
Between albums, you just put a couple mixtapes out.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with your creativity, it kind of cuts the hard work of the production, because you already have a dope beat. So, okay, cool. Now I can actually focus on the lyricism.
Right.
So these beats actually bring the best out of you, especially like Black Helicopters.
Or it can help you gain some popularity in high school, by making your own mixtape.
Yep.
So that was one way.
Yep. I think that was a rite of passage, actually.
So let's talk about style in regards to this group. Already, I know, right away you're going to hear like it's dark, it's grimy, dense, politically charged. One thing I wanted to mention is that Ill Bill, I was trying to compare who he would be like And the closest that I could come to as a comparison outside of hip hop or MCs would be like Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just because he has this presence, this intense presence. He has like a dark edge to him where he's like, he challenges you, or he'll challenge the system, you know. And Raphael was always that one in the group.
He was challenging Leonardo's leadership.
Always, right? Or he always had a skepticism about him, like, you know. So I equate him to Raphael, or like even the Punisher, you know, being this like gritty anti-hero who operates outside the system and who's like unafraid. You know, that's who I would compare him to. Goretex, he would be like Spawn, you know, because he has this more dark, mysterious side to him with the storytelling. And then he also, it almost feels like supernatural in a way. Some of the things he spits, still gritty, but you could tell there's like a darkness there from either his past experiences or battles or whatever. But there's definitely some like inner demons there. Sabac Red, he would be, he's kind of like the more political one out of the group, you know, so he'll bring up things that are more just socially conscious, shedding some light on stuff, but at the same time, very like confrontational. So I think that's what makes this group so well-rounded is you have like streets sort of here, and then you have this political side, but then you have like Ill Bill, you know, kind of encompassing all of it and guiding them, you know, and challenging everything. So, and then you have all that coupled with DJ Eclipse, who was an ill DJ, like just really ill with the mixing and all that. I don't know if you guys heard the turntables on that thing, but it was very complimentary to like the overall track, and it added just another element to it. Sort of reminded me of I want to say Dilated Peoples a little bit.
Okay.
You know, so like Babu, sort of remind me of that. What do you guys think style-wise?
You've established the fact that they all are the anti-hero.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example to it, because we're not looking for wholesome lyrics here.
Yeah.
Looking at from
wholesome
from
a wholesome track.
You know, from start to finish, from you picking up the album, say if you were going to pick this up at a Circuit City back in the day, you know, okay, the only thing I do know is that this is in the hip hop rap category. Right. You double check because this looks like a heavy metal album cover. And then you understand that even if you had the privilege, let's even go back, let's not even say Circuit City, but even if you had the privilege to have this at a listening station at the Virgin Megastore, listen upon that. If you had the treat for that.
Man, I miss that place, man.
Man, if you had the privilege of listening it to upon there, you'd understand that, oh, look, like these guys all want to have the audience understand a common theme, and that is anti-establishment. We have a message that needs to be heard. Hear us out. This is the provocative soapbox that you need to hear. The message from the provocative soapbox, if you will. I
guess like challenging President Bush at the time, or Dick Cheney. You know, those two figures alone were villainized. I think especially after going into Iraq, right?
And the thing is too is that they understood that there was a message that people wanted to hear too, because they weren't alone in that thinking.
Right.
That's why a lot of us appealed to it.
That's true. Like, because other than like maybe Prodigy, who else? Cannabis, I guess, could fall in this bucket.
Yeah.
What other rapper was like kind of on this same
Mortal Technique
plane of thought?
Very
Jedi Mind,
for sure. Jedi Mind was
so
too.
This is like all the who's who of I was mentioning before were all like that, like K, Jack Balls, all of them cats.
Right.
Like it's just one of those. It's just one of those prime examples of like universal consciousness.
Yeah. Where
there's something, especially in New York, thinking about all these issues.
Yeah, because you want to kick knowledge. I mean, that's one thing. KRS always kicking knowledge. But like this knowledge is kind of more of a kind of like a dark side of the knowledge, you know, that you're trying to kick.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think style wise, Ali?
For me, like just lyrically, Sonically, because I couldn't quite tell the group members apart, unfortunately, but
they all kind of sound similar.
But the vibe I got was like young Bad Meets Evil.
Oh,
like M and Royce, how they, especially Royce, like they, to me, like I couldn't quite tell them apart, but a lot of times I was like, man, it sounds like some shit Royce would have said in 99 or 2000, like, because
that's a good example.
When Royce, before he got sober, he was, Royce would say some stuff, and that's why him and M worked together so perfectly, because like on the song, like the Scary Movie song they did together, like the way they just spit and they would their patterns and were so complex, but in the midst of all these complex rhyme patterns, they hit you with some crazy out of nowhere bar. You like, what did he just say?
Yeah.
Obi Trice was like that too.
Yes, for sure. And they're the same family tree. So like those were the vibes I got listening to this. I'm like, oh, this sounded like had Royce and M been on the same page back then, this would have been the Bad Meets Evil album we would have got. As far as lyrically and not necessarily the content, but the shock value rhymes, you would get a lot of that from them.
Shock value rhymes are here. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
for sure.
and I'm not saying that they were using shock value rhymes just for the sake of shocking you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you could not listen to these bars without like fixing your face,
or it's something you haven't really heard.
Right, rewinding or like, wait, what did he just say? Did I hear that right? They made you rewind, and that to me is something that is heavily missing in a lot of rap today. Like the rewind button does not get used.
Blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah, and they made you press rewind. Whether it would be for the flow, for a rhyme scheme, or for something wild they said, you had to press rewind to catch all the dopeness they had. And that to me is what made this a refreshing first listen, because I was like, wow, this is crazy.
The album cover paints it perfectly as well, because like even all the content that they're committed to in this album, like it paints the picture of the future. It reminds me of Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Deltron.
Oh,
like, he was so committed in the future, and like these guys are committed in the same light, where they're sticking to that picture that they're painting, which is this kind of chaotic, wartime, sex, money, drugs sort of picture here. That's like a collage, even with the album cover. And since we're, I guess, touching on that, we'll go into that. The album cover has Non Phixion at the top, written in this unique font. Kind of reminds me of Contra. A bit, just the style of it. The future is now title written right underneath, and then below that you have a very artistic painting, visual of just a lot of chaos going on right here. You have there's a flying genie, it looks like, on a magic carpet with some snakes on there, and he's
a literal
glowing.
Black helicopter back here.
A black helicopter, just Easter egg there. And then you have a plane kind of crashing down. I don't know if that maybe has any ties to 9/11 or not, but then you have behind there like a banking system kind of crumbling, like symbolizing the economy crumbling. You have I don't know if it's the Pope or a priest. So like you have a religion here also being a part of all this. And then you have chaos.
Dick Cheney could be mistaken for Bernie Sanders in the lower,
yes,
in the lower right corner.
And then you have Bush all the way in the right corner on this like RoboCop sort of thing. So he's riding a robot that's like shooting at the people. Or
I just saw that. This is Metal Slug. It's like Metal Slug.
And then there's it's like Metal Gear or something. And then there's just all this chaos happening in the middle.
Got two girls fighting at the bottom.
People getting beat up by police. And then you had two girls fighting at the bottom. Yeah.
Some guy's looking over the driver's side of his bug and getting blasted by the guy in the passenger seat.
His head's getting blown off.
Dang.
Crazy.
There's protests happening in the background. Then there's like, I think maybe the Tower of Babel somewhere in the background here.
Got some guy in a white tee grabbing his nuts. At least that's what it looks like.
It looks like global warming definitely settled in.
Like it's just a lot going on.
Nuclear fallout. A couple of our sound effects that we have back. You play the bomb, the nuclear bomb sound effect. It sounds like
Yeah,
This is what the
Sounds like
album cover
that.
sounds like.
that's what it sounds like. That's funny. That's funny.
The album cover sounds like that.
Sounds like that. Yeah.
If you could listen to the album cover, that's what it would sound like.
What are you guys' thoughts on this album title mixed with the cover and the overall album? How does it all tie together?
Well, they took a gamble on the title of it, and it's paying off now because
Yes.
this is a lot. There's a few Easter eggs to see what we're dealing with now. The racial prejudice, even still to this day, dealing with the after effects, allegedly, of what George Bush has started.
Right.
You see a lot of military oppression, which kind of can be a fact to the Patriot Act. Just a little bit, a little too invasive for my taste. Freedom, but that's neither here nor there. Occupation and just a lot of oppression to in the middle of this album covers the people. It's us. It's the everyday person, and we're getting
Just a lot of strife,
getting
and
it every single way, every other way.
violence and chaos, and it's just a quick representation of basically kind of what they thought the future would be, and a lot of that is come to pass.
Right.
Unfortunately, 22 years later, it's like this is kind of what society looks like.
Right.
And what an appropriate group name is. Non Phixion means it's real,
The truth.
you know, and
Yeah,
the future
to
is
all this,
now, which is as real as you can get.
Right.
You know, the title itself, I think, is just dope in itself because, you know, it's rather than looking further, you know, we are the future when you think about it for peoples in the like 1800s,
Exactly.
1700s,
Exactly.
1600s. We are the future, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's also hard hitting, the title in itself. And it also just makes you think, what is the future going to look like in the future?
Right.
You know? Because if it looks like this now, that doesn't give you a lot of room for prosperity in the future, you know? So if it looks like that now, yeah, just an interesting time, man, because with Dick Cheney and with Bush being in here as ones who are like kind of steering the ship, you know, I would say, of American society, as well as, you know, policies that came right after 9/11, which changed everything, you know. You know, it makes you kind of question and wonder, like, even now, you know, we're having the presidential, you know, race going on right now as we speak, you know, but even then it's kind of like, who's really running everything?
Right.
You know, that's kind of the question. Some think they have theories that there are people behind the scenes running stuff and all that stuff. And there's good reasons why they think that. So it brings out a lot of those questions, right?
Yeah.
That are taboo. But it's like necessary also to talk about, because you don't want to be just a brainless sheep,
Right.
mindless sheep going with this, right? You want to rebel against that, break it. So that's why it's like necessary, you know. These guys are necessary. Dope album cover though. Then they have MF Doom in the mix.
Come on now.
That's like legend. Like, it's already legendary as is with all these producers, but then you got MF Doom.
Got a random Doom feature in there. Like,
He was just at the hangout.
Right place, right time.
Crazy. So right about this time is when we start to transition. We go into the album itself and go into the lyrics. We'll choose 3 of our favorite tracks out of this album, and then we'll go into the lyrics and we'll just break it down, you know, and see what's being said. Well, this is going to be interesting because a lot of the lyrics are happening so fast. It's hard to kind of catch exactly what is being said.
Right.
So this is actually going to take a magnifying glass and be like, okay, you know, this is like what's going to really bring it out. So the first track that we got out of this is Black Helicopters, legendary track alone. And then the next one we got is going to be Rock Stars. And then the last one is the CIA trying to kill me.
Yes.
which also was remixed with the heavy metal band.
Yep, they have a heavy metal version.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Public Enemy, how they did that remix.
Bring the Noise.
Yeah, that was dope. You know, I like the crossover of that.
Oh, yeah.
Fulfilling their heavy metal prophecy foretold in the album cover.
Right?
Oh, they are a metal band. Oh, good. No one listens to the rest of the tracks.
Just in case you didn't know.
Yeah. So let's go into first Black Helicopters, which is our...
I think, but in order, it would be the CIA's
trying to kill me.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
My bad.
so it's the CIA is trying to kill me first, Rockstar second, Black Helicopters third.
Yes.
Okay, so the CIA is trying to kill me first. My bad. Okay, so we're going to start off with that one first.
Okay.
And then I also want to, of course, mention this is also a good time to make sure we're right now at 917 subscribers on YouTube.
Man, thank you all.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
the ones that are subscribed.
Right.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
that's huge to us, and it motivates us to keep on putting out the best, content that we can for everybody. Also, too, I want to mention that we do have our podcast linked to a lot of podcast platforms that are out there that aren't visual. So if you're like working out, you're on the drive, and you can't really watch the show, not to worry. We have a podcast available on Apple, Spotify, Google, I think Podbean, I don't know, you name it. It's basically there. Yeah. So definitely check that out. Make sure too, if you guys are interested in leaving a suggestion for us to cover an album, like let us know, because we will line that up to be covered. And then, of course, if you guys have any connections, please hit us up, because we're looking for sponsors. So please let us know. All right, so we're going to go into the first track, which is CIA is Trying to Kill Me. Title alone, I think it's like...
title alone, I think it's going to strike this video review.
Wow.
It's going to strike the whole video.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
It's like F the police. Just
right away from the title.
You already know it's about to be some stuff going on.
And Peace to the Beat as well. You know what? I forgot to look up the people who produced the tracks, but Peace to the Beat as well, because the beat on this really does help set up the music to it, or at least like it just sets it up for these lyrics to really hit home with the violins. Just like they're so violent, like that alone is dope. So peace to them on that.
I think Necro did this one.
Was it Necro? That's crazy, man. Peace to Necro, man. Necro is underrated producer, dude.
Never stop being busy.
For reals, dude. That dude is an underrated producer. So it says, produced by Necro. Oh, no, that's Futurama, sorry.
The CIA is trying to kill me, yes.
Produced by Necro. Peace to Necro. First verse is Ill Bill. Non Phixion be the real hip-hop. We make you want to kill cops. Cats hate me.
Whoa.
Already, like, very just in your face, blunt. Cats hate me because they know I fingered they girls, twat. They feel helpless, real jealous. We killed Elvis. I shot Reagan with the help of a Secret Service.
Whoa.
Controversial within 5 bars. Right, yes. Yes. Super double agent. Shoot your mother with my brother's favorite. Was my brother's favorite. 12 gauge waving, aiming at your brain. Strange universe. I'm too famous. Leaving the murder scene blameless. Drug entertainment. Thugs that'll blaze the laser guns. Saying that I wrote. They feel what I feel. They see the same picture. We make the biscuit do the talking and became richer. Nobody gets a record deal. You got to take that shit. Treat the record label like a slut. Then rape that bit. Man, we're going to get censored already, dude. this one's going to get flagged.
Wow.
If we had to censor it, it'd sound like a truck backing up.
Yeah. I keep it simple for these stupid cats claiming you knew the facts, but in reality you were trapped. Jesus Christ was a gangster rapper. They killed him then. He came back and made a platinum album. The path that travels like the dragon shadow, invisible to CIA camera angles. They got a file on every rap group. They killed the last man who had proof. They've after me for information that I have to. Already, like, what are you guys' thoughts about this verse?
That verse, I mean,
So politically charged.
man.
Yes, yeah.
And even like when he said they killed the last man who had proof, like that, it makes you like it could be that could symbolically mean so many people.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like the first person I thought of when he said that, like kind of two people. One's an MC and one was an activist. I think either Tupac or Malcolm X. When I think just that bar made me just think of those two. They may not have even been thinking of them, but just hearing that bar, that's who I thought of. The first people I thought of.
Yeah, I feel like with Malcolm X, I feel like they didn't like the fact that him and Martin Luther King were like on the verge of possibly even working together.
Yeah.
They didn't want that. No. Because it was, they wanted to like charge America like for crimes, civil crimes, you know? So it was like something they did not want. So yeah, Tupac as well. Like Tupac was, his family was in the Black Panthers.
Yep,
no?
his mom was a Panther.
And so you could just imagine like Tupac, if you imagine him today, just the wisdom probably that he'd be dripping like
crazy.
Yeah. And he's so inspirational already. So like an older Tupac would really have a voice in hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, that would be wild. But yeah, I think already a lot of this stuff, you know, it's obviously it is fictional, which is kind of the irony here, you know, because like I shot Reagan, you know, with the help of Secret Service. Obviously, we know he didn't.
Right?
But is it?
But it's funny because he's naming these people that he in this movie, this fictional movie that he's putting together is like eliminating, you know. But it's already creating a lot of chaos, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of death, and it's almost like he has a hit list almost, you know, of who he wants to take out for whatever reason. I don't know the line about Jesus Christ and being a gangster rapper. I don't know, like really
what the symbolism is there.
What the punch or the symbolism there is. What do you guys think about that one?
I mean, you take it to those times. Jesus, it was an outspoken prophet against the Roman Empire. We can take those. I mean, anyone against the establishment professing the peace, is always going to be evil in the eyes of the emperors, the oppressors.
What do you think about like the Platinum Album thing? I'm picturing like,
well, the Platinum Album's the Bible,
right?
Yeah,
like
right.
Platinum Album, right?
Yeah,
because that's like lyrics, verses.
Yeah, or they can even allude the symbolism to Pac too, because when Pac died, his album after his death was platinum.
Platinum albums. Right. I mean, he literally had more albums dead than alive.
Yeah, that's crazy. Huh?
I mean, just if you want to tie it there.
Yeah.
All right, going into the chorus. I'm paranoid. Tell me what the fuck they asked you. You fucking around with me and I might blast you. The CIA trying to kill me. We bad news. Get the fuck up and out of my way as I pass through. I'm paranoid. Tell me what the fuck they asked you. You around with me and I might have to blast you. The CIA trying to kill me. We bad news. Around with Non Phixion. That's a bad move. You know you're a bad dude if the CIA is after you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one thing for sure.
Sabac comes on. It's the next verse. Symbolism, socialism, live life, lead, learn, struggle, war, hold drugs, fiends, the White House burn. Sex, pain, fear, freedom, love, young guns be shooting. Genocide, revolution, lost souls prostituting. Military confrontation, safe sex and masturbation. Peace to all the homeless people living in the train station. Project Wars, building 1 versus 4. Lock the door, burn the disc. Now everybody hit the motherfucking floor.
Woo.
Really just the rebellious. This is the stuff that I mentioned, like this, the soapbox message of like, hey, look, this isn't our battle. Our battle's going to the higher source of the government. Lock the door. They bust in and I'm a glutton for this shit. I'm number 6 on the list next to Kiss and Marley's Kids. Damn, Kiss? I didn't even know Kiss was on their targets like that. The rock group. Because I run with Asians, Latinos, and black fists. 5% Caucasians, thugs who live communist. So he's just chilling with the who's who. Right. But this is the perfect example because the who's who of these people are the ones that are oppressed. Yeah. Well, we look at the oppression in different directions.
The minorities.
Yeah. They broke in my house, planted bugs in all my lamps on my couch. They after me. What? Let me find out. I'm not having it. My rap attracts the surface like attract the service like a magnet. These bastards get nothing like private parties with no laminates. If I'm gonna die busting and struggling. I'm hustling for the people. Fuck them devils and corruption. Nothing for nothing, ain't it something how they do? They ID me due to my tattoo.
Profiling.
Damn.
I think it's dope because, and this is, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but, you know, who's really regulating, you know, these agencies, you know? And that's the whole thing about JFK. Like, I hate to go here, but that's the whole reason why they claim that JFK was murdered, because he was challenging these agencies, and they didn't like that.
Oh, yeah, but you got to remember is that those agencies are safe because that agency did an investigation on themselves.
Agency, right?
And they turned out to be just fine.
Right. So that's something that's like, what can we do?
Absolutely.
Right.
We have no power over that. But the fact is, we are the people. So verse 3, man, go text.
Projects for straight jackets, electroshock states. A rock could fall out, traded for royal rates. Get your drink on, we building bombs, spit in your face. Smart to change cars like cruise the block, I do it for chase. Nice spit work, the fancy knife work.
Hold on. I love this because this is dope, so dope. Coming after Sabac, you know, who is more kind of like shedding light on stuff. Here comes Goretex, like, nah, just pull out the knife. Like, let's get
right. Let's get it popping.
I love that.
Yeah. He goes, get your drink on, we building bombs, spit in your face. Smart to change cars like cruise the block, I do it for chase. Nice spit work, the fancy knife work. Hit the Christ, Non Phixion, striking prison ice shirts. I paid dues, nothing to lose. Steady busting off weapons and tools. When I come home, I be smelling shit and furniture's moved. Eat a slug, take some weight off. I live this for real.
Like if the CIA snuck in this building, maybe move some furniture around or something.
I do this for the dead. Rest in peace. I'm holding you near. Making up time, 12 years, we on tour, we blowing your back off. Support cats that jack the car seats and tear your scalp off. Soldiers of merits inherited way back. Cyanide dip bullets, so y'all should follow my stats.
Cyanide dip bullets.
Wow.
Dude.
Like if the bullet wasn't going to get you.
That's crazy. We too futuristic thugs to robots experiments. 4-point restraint and my hypercube on medicines. Pain veterans, crippling souls. Is getting bigger now. The information running the globe is just my mechanics, either with a gat or Xanax. Widespread panic until the Sabbath. Woo. Wow.
That's a way to end it right there.
That's just, I mean, for him to tie all those images in and then to say widespread panic until the Sabbath, like still recognizing the Sabbath, I thought was just like,
yeah.
Even with everything he's saying, like I think that's just dope.
Ill Bill, man, that's dope. So we now are gonna move on to rock stars. I want to give honorable mention to Futurama, Drug Music, also dope tracks. All these tracks, honestly, are all dope. Special features by Uncle Howie, who was really big in their family. Like they always give dap to Uncle Howie, just as far as like always just being, I don't know, just somebody in their family that they're really close to. Then we go on to rock stars. Whew.
Escape from New York, but I be on some Brooklyn bullshit. I pull clips as fast as I dose chicks with dope tits. Tommy Lee called. He said the coke's arriving at 6.
Tommy Lee.
Just name dropping real quick. Got my name all in your mouth.
Tommy Lee's like, no,
Nah, that doesn't do with that.
Got my name all in your mouth like you're liable to brick. Click me on the tube, chain swinging down my shoes. Light up the room, African boom, spark it and zoom. Disciple of rock, the type who'll range rifles at cops. I'm spiteful, fake gets left, shaking like Michael J. Fox.
Damn.
At that time, I don't know if anybody busted that bar yet.
Yeah, he's fresh off of his little, and that's tough.
Wow.
That's crazy. Ill Bill, I delivered AIDS, infected needle, acupuncture.
The thing you do not want in acupuncture.
Just
the
first line.
I delivered AIDS, infected needle acupuncture. Gangster and hustler, murderer, kidnapped a suspect. rapper and dust head. From blood red to Crip blue, my shit's too colorful. Running through with 100 goons and maniacs. If a bitch like to suck... you guys have the worst guy reading these lyrics. Like, I'm not reading these lyrics, but she a brainiac. Bust up in the mouthpiece. See how they react. Take it back like an instant replay. Live in the PJs. Watching my uncle freebase. Analyzing the anguish on my friend's face. Just analyzing the anguish.
On a fiend's face.
Oh, on a fiend's face. My bad. I learned to love trees laced. My trees laced. The way PCP tastes. The way it makes me see things. Old school dice spot. Bills and sheepskins. As I write this, I'm rocking iceberg jeans and Timbs. I love that. As I write this, I'm like, that's dope. Thinking where I'm going to be in 2007, either a house in Hamptons or a house in heaven. I'll be chilling on the beach in the south of Venice or murking the president live in Channel 7.
Dang.
Just murking live on Channel
live on Channel 7. Just,
presidents.
live on TV, we taking them out.
Dude, there was an interview, or this was on, I think, a special where they released like a DVD special of them in New York. And then he was like, in Times Square, he was like, man, he goes, I just want to have I just want to pay off the cops and just have a porno here, right, live on Times Square. Like, dude, it's crazy. Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Funny part is just, and even where we are now, saying, thinking where I'm going to be in 2007, how like that sounded so far away.
Right.
Back in 2002. And now it's like, that was 17 years. 2007 was 17 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that's just a wild thought just to even have. And you got
scratches from DJ Premier.
Primo himself.
Yeah.
You got Sabac Red coming in. I'll be Brooklyn till I die. Don't even question it twice. My crew nice. Late night in the corners, we shoot dice. Just like summertime in New York. Jeans short. Tim's new buck. Tank tops with tank tops with koofies. Groupies acting loosely. Who be in a black drop with his hat cocked. That cat box. Puffing a stogie and spitting snapshots. I'm trying to live, feed the kids, drive some whips, handle biz, own a crib, do my shit in the streets. That's how it is. Man.
If I say rock star, I'm talking about rocking the mic. My shit's hot like rock, like the rock of fiend dropping a pipe. These cats is idiots with rap so pussy that catch periods. I'm serious. My life is like a drug experience. A porno movie with no plot, and I'm the only guy in it. Like vivid videos with Kobe Ty dime bitches. Ill Bill, Rap Crusader, cruising in the chilling in the Black Navigator. Canarsie to Pennsylvania. Wild like rock stars who smashed guitars.
I like that sample from
Respect the Deck.
Respect the Deck.
Yeah,
that was a dope line. Goretex, break Mumia out, bang in the shells and the heaters out, blast off the terrorists, blow bombs and speakers out, hookers and bricks, gutter cats, bitches and pimps, cripples and gimps, ex-cons, pushers and tricks, street poet, speak the essence, what realer than this, up in the club, smoked out coke and feeling of Chris, you light in the wrists, Richard Simmons fro with the pick. Richard Simmons
really?
With the pick.
That's crazy.
The Mumia gentleman that he was talking about is a gentleman named Mumia Abu Jamal. He was accused of murdering a Philly police officer in 81, sentenced to death in 82, but he was granted parole in 2011. So the parole does post-date this album. As far as, so Mumia actually got parole for this, so he essentially did get free in a sense to where he's not serving that death sentence. So
okay,
so it's a little glimmer of hope,
so
I guess.
Prophecy fulfilled.
Yeah,
just a little prophecy in here.
Yeah,
taking my record label hostage if they stomping my shit.
Sabac Red come in. I remember them cold nights and long lines for clubs. Now it's strictly VIP, free drinks and drugs, pounds and hugs, getting back rubs. We them underground thugs who stay street but got newfound love. Take a Continental, drive a rental, travel the globe, Non Phixion to the end. Worldwide, we rock shows. Explode from out the projects, Glenwood to Throg's Neku, hold your drink up and make a toast to how the gods get.
Living lavish.
Yeah, and they have a music video to this as well. So piece of that.
This might be the most. I mean, obviously they still have plenty of wild lyrics, but I would say this might be one of the tamer songs.
Yeah.
As far as content wise, like this is more one of the ones in style of just, at least just kind of how I read it, just them spitting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is just them kind of showing off their lyrical excellence, so to speak.
I want to say peace to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. I feel like that one's a very iconic track. I remember listening to that beat way back.
Yeah.
And thinking like, oh, that's a dope like intro, the way that beat comes off. And then so me just hearing that brings back a lot of nostalgia. So peace to that track. Now we move on to a very special instrumental in all of hip hop. This one's a gem. And if you're a true hardcore hip hop fan, you know Black Helicopters, and it's going to be a very special beat. Just it by itself is noteworthy. It deserves all the highest praise.
Absolutely.
By itself. So we go into Black Helicopters. The interesting thing about Black Helicopters is that Necro said that this beat was that it was given to M, but it didn't work out because him and Eminem had like a falling out a little bit. Not necessarily a falling out, but just kind of like I don't know, Eminem kind of took whatever he said in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So, but then he also had this beat for a protege of Necro's who was like an Asian dude who was like grimy. And he said, there's just nobody like that. You know, Asian guy who can like rap and who's grimy. So he had this beat set up for this dude like to take off, but the dude was just inconsistent. Like he was too grimy where he just didn't want to let go of the streets.
He's grimy in every sense.
Yeah.
Punctuality.
He couldn't let go of the streets. Like he was still wanting to get involved with the streets and he couldn't let it go. So like it just didn't
Every
work.
hood has one.
Yeah. So piece of this beat, because this beat has been in the hands of a few people, you know, but now it goes to Non Phixion. I think Ill Bill was asking like, what's up with this beat? Dude, like, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. Peace to it. Legendary beat. It's killer beat. Had the time of his life. Capitalist with the communist wife started a fight and did to cats what God did to Christ. Hardly the type to give garbage advice. He was larger than life. He penetrate the roof of your car with a spike. Trained by an insane ex-Marine, CIA traitor, renegade, assassin, android, past deployed, piloting black helicopter choppers over Bosnia, sniffing so much coke, nose was fucked up with the blood a lot. For all y'all bystanders, baggy ass jeans to hide your bangerangs with the thug, the fucked out, hanging and bashing your face, scat gangster governments. These other kids is like the drunken bitch that sucked 100 at the party, then cried rape. Plus the hooker lies great. Sniff another line to get your mind straight. Pull out the 9 and start shooting people. Money ain't the root of evil. It be more than that. America taught me how to kidnap and torture cats.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I like this is probably the first hip hop chorus that talks about Stargates, which is cool. These to the nerds that like hip hop. Exit the Stargate. Initial perception quickens my heart rate. The star place, planet Earth, orbits one star, the sun. I've come from afar, far away state of mind. Open your third eye. Black helicopters in the sky. And it's one of those choruses where the interpretation you can like perceive that they just like got here. And they just like quickly analyze how fucked up the world is, and they just went with those analyzations on it. Exit the Stargate. Initial perception quickens my heart rate. The start place, planet Earth's orbit one star. I come from afar, far away state of mind. Open your third eye. Black helicopters in the sky. I need G so I can jet easier. My crib's tapped. I suspect ether. That's why I'm out of touch with the media. Undercovers like Pete Seeger. I couldn't tell either. Watching the projects with the van of speakers. Peeping how my kids rest. Banging my whiz for hours. Surveillance tapes, pissing in King's Plaza. Even got us after hours. Drug parties, golden showers on the Porsche Chiska. Work for the FBI, so anytime I might whisper. My scary team be like barely clean, rocking Israeli jeans. That's why I mostly heard and rarely seen. Realization soaked in urgency. Can't escape history's pen. I be the worst of me.
I like how you said my scary team be like barely clean, rocking Israeli jeans. The double entendre with the jeans.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's dope too.
That's dope. Let's see. In the third verse, Sabac comes in. This cop bring the city hopper like a rocket with binoculars. Took me these two Rostas and a mobster to cap the hostage. Said that we were imposters and an impatient government agent from the United Nations. Said that we had the private information about the aliens, vegetarians, devils, and Iranians. These civilized barbarians, we fucking bury them. The Rasta said, you pussy blood clot and got shot. I'm like, fuck this. I'm blowing up spots because shit is hot. We know about the plan to fill the projects with contraband, drop bombs on Brazil so you can kill and conquer land. Your drug trafficking, your new creation for disease to control the population in the states and overseas. You put poison in the weed and milk in the milk we feed our seeds. You look shocked that Sabac could know the plots of all of these. Took his Glock, licked the shot when the bastard wasn't looking, threw him out when the mobster flew the chopper back to Brooklyn. Wow.
To have a big, a firm grasp on all this knowledge, especially with what they're talking about here.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too much into like the Israeli jeans punchline, but the knowledge that you have to have at this time, it's you had to do your research.
Yeah.
You had to do your research.
And I mean, there was no Google wasn't around. You know what I mean? Like you had to really do some heavy reading back then.
Yeah, and then on some black websites for sure.
Yeah.
Just like really like off the wall.
The dark web.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, at that time, I think there was like websites though that were like, you know, anybody could at this time created a website, and you know they had a lot of interesting conspiracies there. I remember there was one like that I found one time. It was on just Disney. Just like the evilness of Disney.
Oh yeah.
And it was just dedicated to that. Like, so I can like, you know, at this time, you know, I could envision, you know, possibly websites that like they might get inspiration from, you know, possibly on these type of subjects like this. That's very skeptical, you know, on conspiracy.
Yes.
That's kind of a big thing now too, but you know, it's been tackled now. It's like, you know, the people challenging conspiracy theorists because now we know so much, or we have access to so much.
Right.
Now it's like, well, no, that's actually been debunked or whatever.
Yeah, and some of this stuff is now researched and reviewed and to exhaustion.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
There's
There's countless videos of people like going through
mean, you
it.
could spend 3 hours on YouTube watching this kind of stuff if you
Yeah.
let yourself fall into that trap.
Right, exactly. Or there's like Reddits and all these different
subreddits.
Yeah, like all these
TikTok.
4chan.
Right.
I mean, TikTok videos, you can spend 2 hours watching TikTok videos of all these conspiracy theories or debunked theories. And if you let yourself fall into that trap, you can.
Yeah. For hours. Just
For
be
hours and not
indulged
even know it.
Damn.
in the black cloud. So like takeaways from this album. What do you guys take away from it?
I mean, with the future is now, listening to it a little bit with a little bit more maturity, you understand the message that they were trying to portray. It's just with what we've heard up to this point and listening to it again, it becomes a bit fatiguing because of the fact that like we can scream about all this oppression, we can scream about all this rebellion that we want to do, but do we do it?
Yeah.
Do we do any of it? And we kind of feel like taken aback to us, like, dude, I don't want to, and like listening to it, it just kind of gets you motivated to like uprise a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it though. It's like, even through all the fatigue and everything, you still feel like a little pep in your step to like I don't know, like find an enemy that's not government related and relate it to this album, and you're good.
But I do feel like Black Helicopters, like I could picture being in war in a chopper, like listening to this, like Black Helicopters, it would get you in the mood of going into war almost like.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Ali?
I mean, it's a great listen because, dope lyricism, number one. They didn't compromise the lyricism within the message, even through what could be perceived as shock value lyrics. At the same time, the bars are nice. Yeah, so to me, that's where it starts.
The scheme is good.
You know what I mean? You can't deny the talent. You can't deny the lyricism. You can't deny the complexity of the patterns that they're using in some of these bars. Yeah. So for me,
even
like,
all the way to the artwork.
Right, the artwork. Yeah. So like for me, even if the message goes over your head, if you somebody that likes lyricism, you're gonna enjoy this because you can't deny the bars here. That's undeniable here. Yep. The message may not be for you, but if you claim to like lyricism, you're gonna rock with this regardless.
Yeah. I think it just holds a special place in time for those like purists, hip hop purists, who are just really fans of this style of hip hop, which is raw, gritty, grimy, like skeptic. They're just gonna be fans of this no matter what.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Immortal Technique shares in that as well because he also in the same vein, has a similar subject matter. Probably not as grimy as this, or almost kind of, but it's similar in the same light. And so like even him, they still have these fan bases that are just hardcore fans, hardcore for this style. Lyricism, who believe in just being in the underground. And so in that sense, maybe there is still an underground, for those who are still about this style of hip hop, which is just raw lyricism, challenging the system, almost like just a revolutionist.
A good example of that would be when in the start of the third act in Demolition Man, where John Spartan goes down to the underground and meets Dennis Leary and his people who just want to rebel.
Right.
And pretty much you might see Non Phixion in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, even in today's time, I could see it being relevant because we have different factions, groups that still don't really, or still challenge the system, and I think it's always a good thing to still constantly challenge the system to make it better, and I think that's always been a battle here in America because there's some who feel like, oh no, it's good already. But then there's some that's like, no, it's not. Like
for you, maybe.
Yeah, let's make it better. So even in that sense, this album could still be relevant.
Oh, for sure.
There's just, and the piece to Primo, like Pete Rock and Large Professor, Necro, like
production-wise is ridiculous.
Is legendary. Yeah. For them to all collab on this album.
And for it to sound cohesive.
And they have MF Doom on the feature.
Right.
Yeah.
All that combined. So peace to this album by Non Phixion. Peace to Non Phixion. If you guys haven't heard this album, we definitely recommend to check it out. It's definitely, you're going to be in for a ride because it's like a picture that they're painting, kind of like a Deltron. I related to. So check it out. And then, of course, make sure you guys are following us. If you haven't followed us, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms or even YouTube, where our goal is to get to 1,000. We're so close to getting there. So we really thank you for supporting us. Like, it means a lot.
For real.
Yeah. So thank you guys for that. Go ahead, let them have it, Mark.
To the MCs, if you drop a mic, drop a like. Black helicopters in the sky.
Here we go. This one's by A. Brook. Peace to A. Brook on the beat.
Yeah.
This one takes us back, man. Boom bap.
Let's go.
Boom back, we about to clap back at you, yo. About to attack you, yo. We can't stop, we're in the black helicopter, trying to chop ya, gonna get you down. Like what, stomp on your face, up on you now, take the crown, yo. Back in the town, there's only one sheriff in it, yo. I'm infinite, my raps galore, leaving you on the floor, hardcore as I start to bust in, make you a s'more. Yo, you can't hear the beat, about to make it come back out, maybe fix the chord. I don't know, but yo, I'm trying to get galore, trying to be hardcore, trying not to be bored. Yo, but I'll bring out a board and we can play Monopoly too, as I monopolize, and it's hypothesized, but yo, I'll pass it on to Mark so he can counterattack and realize.
Counterattack, especially when I start to rap. Yo, my style was a rusted ancient artifact, but I polished it, and after I polished it, I took this beat and demolished it, kinda like a destruction derby, especially when my verses come from the depths of New Jersey, cause it was all done in garbage. Yo, watch all this carnage that I'm doing at a maximum rate. Watch Spider-Man look at all the stuff that I make and get stuck to the walls, because he's like, man, he's really balls to the walls in the literal sense. My testicular nature, yo, goes in a mad sensations, especially when I'm trying to do this from nation upon nation. Yo, my freestyle sensation keeps on going like a spidey sense. My verse is mad intense, like I'm inside camping with my homies and shit. Yo, watch me, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna create a clone, I'm gonna pass Ali these headphones so he can hear the beat. This is what we're gonna do on 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna pass it down to the homie Ali. Yo, wait till he comes back into the verse and disperse his verse.
Alright, yo, there we go. Hey yo, I spit raps, lyrical shotgun with no kickback. I just keep on going, every little knick-knack. Patty whack, give a dog a bone when you go home. I don't roam, I just go to Rome and eat on pasta when you don't even know when you smoke it like a Rasta. I just blink with my eyes closed, cause that's how I see where rhyme flows. Every time I see the best rhymes, I do it 100 times. I do it anytime on election day, on Tuesday, Wednesday, on your favorite day. 2 weeks ago was my birthday. I'm 36, like a kilo or a brick. I don't even know which one it is on the measuring stick. I'm just coming up with random things that rhyme together. Cause I do it like two birds of a feather that flock together. You don't even know I'm undefeated like Mayweather. I keep going on a blanket and get to sleep. I get the Z's when I keep going Japanese and 35 degrees. You just too cold? Sorry, I was off beat. Alright, now I'm gonna catch it again. Alright, I get back on beat because I do it for the street, but I ain't even from the street. I just do it from where I became from. And I do it when we can't even blame none. You got no flame, son. Your rhymes ain't even hot, they ain't even lukewarm. I just do it through a storm when you swarm with the killer bees like Wu-Tang or Pootie Tang. Like the movie by Chris Rock, you don't even do it for hip hop. You do it cause your rhymes are double copper when you flip flop in a belly flop in a pool with no water. That shit just hurt like you don't even slaughter when your daughter. I'ma pass it to Zay and keep going till I lyrically spray.
Lyrically spray all day. Hey, yo, it's Zay, back on the mic as I come relay. Yo, it's not time of delay as I come back around all day. Hey, yo, I'm not trying to play. I'm trying to take it down all day and lay it down. Yo, I'm about to break it around as I start to lay it down. Yo, I can't stop. There's no frown. There's no calm when I'm throwing it down. The future is now. Gonna let it out. Hey, yo, what that's about? Yo, I'm got your house. I'm hijacking your internet. Yo, I'm hacking in. Hey, yo, I'm starting to get my backpack and now I'm logged in with your password. Now I'm about to go backwards as I start to come back at it. Yo, I'm coming from a chopper. I'm landing, diving into the ocean. Yo, I'm flowing like the ocean. Yo, it's the deep blue sea when I come back for more. Yo, I'm the deep dark web. You don't want to spend it, but yo, I coming through like Spider-Man. I'm the man. Swinging through your town like the neighborhood. Mr. Rogers, yo, I'll slap him. Hey, yo, I'll take him down. It's not so happy anymore. Yo, I'm sloppy when I let my rhymes just spill galore. Mark, go ahead and have some more s'mores.
Yo, watch me when I do this, I swing swords. Yo, I'm gonna give you a mad type favor. I be like Mr. Roger, won't you be my neighbor? Hey, watch me do this with a new flavor. I keep on going slice to slice with your lightsaber. remember your own one, or even me being the shogun. Watch when I whip out the katana. Yo, I got a girl, she's finer than katana. Yo, watch me with the Mortal Kombat, kick you mad times like I'm Liu Kang. Watch me go on this new thing and do the Aikido or Kung Fu like I'm Wu-Tang. All up in the action. Yo, I wanna do this without no subtractions or even another confusion type of mathematical practice like I'm practicing and devising factions or fractions. I meant to say that, the numerator or denominator. I be the rap lyrical savior, yo, or maybe more flavor than an hour later, or a lifesaver, or whatever type of candy you're feeling dandy to reciprocate or rhyme with. I be doing this mad easily, especially when I'm drinking caffeine. What it does to me, it makes me an ill MC. That's kind of like Popeye and spinach, you see. Both of them work in tandem, especially when I'm rapping at random. Yo, I wanna go back to Los Angeles, that way I can start busting and going bananas, kid, like on Donkey Kong Country. Watch me do this on the monthly. Every 5 episodes we freestyle off the top of the dome, so don't forget that with that hit, that's hip hop with me, Nesquik and Ali. When we do this, 3 MCs who do this so viciously off the top of the mic. Yo, we do this like a thriller come off in the night. I'm gonna give it back to Ali and pass the headphone to him. 1, 2, 3 on this beat, you see?
Check it. How do I follow that? All I do is follow raps when I follow that. I just know how to spit. When I keep going, you spit your phlegm. On the rim, above the rim, like Tupac. But you don't even know. You gon' keep rhyming stupid till you get you shot. I do it around the block or around the corner. From 3, swish. Like I do it, cause like I'm JR Swish. You don't even know how I do it when I flip. When I flip in a tish. And I jump and I eat out of a dish. It could be Kamala or Trump. You might get sliced up real quick like Future Trunks on Frieza, on Dragon Ball Z. When I didn't even know, put you to sleep when you get Z's. Put you down to your knees, and pray to the Lord before you get slapped in the head like a Ouija board. I just rhyme and get the numbers on your face. Do it in a different place. I try to get it back on time. When I pass it to Zay just one more time.
Yo, I'm classical, Moonlight Sonata. Yo, I'm coming through like I'm a straight up piranha. Yo, I'm Luke, I'm your father. Don't matter where I'm coming, yo, I'm coming from another one, son. I'm coming from another time, Millennium Falcon. The way I come in poop guns, yo, I got the double golden eye. Hey, yo, you trying to supply, why you trying to lie? Hey, yo, I see it in your eyes, look to the skies. I'm coming down with the punch. Hey, yo, you trying to have a punch? Yo, I'm giving you lunch. Yo, you just a munch. The way I take care of you all for lunch. Yo, I'm not done, son, you better wake up in fear. I'm coming through terrorizing your whole freaking year. Every time you're gonna have a tear. The way I'm coming out your mama's house, and I ain't pulling up my drawers. I'm like, what? Yo, you coming straight up. Yo, I'm not down, I know it's up. Yo, but I'm still not around, not a clown. I'm about to lay it down every time I come to your town. What you trying to do now? You trying to act out? I'm gonna lay you down flat in your mouth and it's out. Should we keep going, or is that good? That's good.
3 Ali on this other would end it.
All right.
Because that would be your third, my third, his third.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, so that's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. Yo, that's me. Yo, I swarm off. I be Mr. Wonderful like I'm Paul Orndorff. Get you with the atomic leg drop from Hulk Hogan or Hollywood. Yo, I be Hollywood, but I'm road ruling like the real world of reality TV on MTV. But I'd rather barge in your home with an RPG and then decree me as the illest MC to ever spit a 16, add another 32, G. Yo, my metaphors match 24s, that big and Rob, we're rolling in Cadillacs and expeditions. Who can mention the excursion when I come in and yo start to blurt in all these words that I'm merging in, kinda like in traffic lanes. I do this really strange, kinda like Doctor Strange himself, especially when I do this without any help or assistance. My persistence and lyrical aggression keeps on going with this freestyle session. I like doing this, it's like a lyrical blessing to everybody that likes to mention all these dope things that we do from the top of the dome. I like doing this polished up like it's chrome on the microphone. Yo, I'm never creating clones so that way you can't attack me like episode 2, G. Yo, don't wanna do that, yo, or else I'm gonna go back again like I'm Anakin. And yo, start doing all crazy things like go on the dark side with these dope type rhymes in my mind. Give it to Ali so we can finish this off for us. Yo, watch this start blowing up like it's phosphorus. Ooh.
Check it. Yo, I'ma treat you like your Joker. Why so serious? I know dudes that bring blood like period. But you don't even wanna see me, period. Or exclamation. You don't even know how I run the nation. From invasion or incarceration. You don't even have bars like incarceration. You go bars is weak like pessimation. I just made that word up, cause it's like word up like the magazine. But you ain't never seen a dude rap so mean. When I do it that clean, like Mr. Clean or Afro Sheen. I just spray it on top of the head, cause I do it from on top of the head. Or I'll knock your girl from on top of the bed. Cause I do it like I said. Or I do it like Steve Harvey has said. Kings of comedy, you don't even wanna rhyme after me. You don't even wanna blink when you rhyme. I just do it 33 more times, like Kobe's number in high school. When I do it, when I high drew from a haiku with 3 lines, 3 bars, 3 times, 3 even on a turn. 33 like Ewing, 33 like Bird, 33 like Magic in high school, 33 like Magic in college. Kick knowledge, rhyming like shoe polish. From the kicks, when I rhyme, you can suck my check.
All right.
Rap Freestyle Rookie of the Year.
Let's go, man. Let's go.